near backyards and along backyards, significant exceedances of dioxin in the soil based on state standards right on top of the property line.
And it isn't just dioxin Wausau is up against. Multiple corporations are impacting its public water system with per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, also known as PFAS. PFAS is used in manufacturing of nonstick pots and pans, popcorn bags, and firefighting foam. PFAS is in our wells, our waterways, and in my metaphorical backyard. Join me as I investigate.
I want to start pointing out, and this will be nothing new for the people in the neighborhood, and there are quite a few here, so you're going to see metal tubes all over the place.
According to Wausau's 2024 Joint Utility Annual Report, the main water supply is from 6 high-capacity wells around Wausau. Wells 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. During 2024, 1,317,669,000 gallons of raw water, or untreated water, was withdrawn. And a large percentage of that water was treated and sent to a distribution center to be used by customers. However, all 6 wells have tested positive for PFAS.
January, Wausau Waterworks worked with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources and the Department of Health Services to voluntarily test every city well for PFAS. All 6 wells contained levels of PFAS that exceed the proposed DNR drinking water standard. The levels of PFAS range from 23 parts per trillion to 48 parts per trillion, depending on the well.
There is a history of chemical contamination in Wausau, dating back to 1981. Connor Forest Products, a manufacturer of wood floors, veneers, kitchen cabinets, and toys, was accused of dumping barrels of, quote, water from the cleanup with a little glue in it. Along with Connor Forest Products, as of 2023, companies such as Georgia Pacific LLC, Graphic Packaging International LLC, and Wausau Chemical Corporation have had lawsuits filed against them due to alleged business operations imposing PFAS pollution.
Manufacturers, their insurance companies, and the creators of the PFAS chemicals they use. It shared the news today and filed the suit yesterday against 15 chemical manufacturers and more than 60 insurance companies.
The Wausau Superfund site was added to the National Priorities List in 1986 due to contamination from 2 locations, the Marathon Electric property, including a former municipal landfill, and the Wausau Chemical Facility. On the western portion, we have the Marathon Electric property and the former municipal landfill. Along on the left eastern portion, we have the Wausau Chemical Plant. These 2 locations have soil and groundwater contamination, including volatile organic compounds, also known as VOCs, and more recently, PFAS. The EPA continues to monitor the site and conduct necessary maintenance. The city has also installed a new granular activated carbon system that treats PFAS in its drinking water. Soil treatment remediation was finalized in 2001, but the groundwater treatment is ongoing as of 2025. Despite the contamination, parts of the site are now used for other purposes, like a boat launch, a recreational trail, an electronic motor manufacturer, and a water treatment plant.
we want to make sure that the people who polluted our drinking water are held accountable, and that it's not just our city ratepayers that end up having to foot that bill.
Since the public announcement in 2022 that all of Wausau's wells were contaminated with man-made forever chemicals, the city has been spending millions working to provide safe drinking water.
Here, a couple hundred samples a week.
You know, people inside their home, they still have lead solder and old copper and things like that.
In 2019, Wausau conducted voluntary water testing on raw and treated water. The test results showed that there were levels ranging from 8.65 to 15.1 parts per trillion, or PPT, of compounds of PFAS and similar chemicals. For context, the EPA has set an MCL, also known as the maximum contaminant level, of between 4 and 10 parts per trillion. At this time, there was no state nor federal laws in 2019 that would regulate the amount of PFAS in the drinking water.
Station comes up in these filters. There's 3 feet of green sand, which is manganese coated sand. This is our granulated activated carbon.
And then we'll take down the lead tanks and then switch over to lag tanks.
PFAS are referred to as forever chemicals because they're extremely resistant to breaking down in the environment and in our bodies. They have strong chemical bonds, which means they're harder to break down over time. They can build up in humans, animals, the environment, and pose long-term, long-lasting health risks. They are also commonly found in everyday items, cookware, food packaging, waterproof clothing, firefighting foam, and even some makeups. Peer-reviewed studies by the EPA suggest that PFAS may cause fertility issues, physical and development delays for children, reduced ability or function of the immune system. Peer-reviewed studies by the EPA suggest that PFAS may cause fertility issues, physical and development delays for children, reduced ability or function of the immune system, disrupt the body's immune system and hormones, increase cholesterol, and there are many studies that are still in the works. The data is hard to determine because there are thousands of PFAS and thousands of ways that these chemicals can interact with our body at different stages of development. And these factors vary drastically by age, gender, and occupation. The CDC suggests that risk of health effects from PFAS are access to safe water and quality healthcare, exposure factors such as dose, frequency, route, exactly how does it get into the body, and duration it's been there, and disease burden. There are growing concerns throughout the nation over the quality and safety of water consumption. These concerns vary from contaminant runoffs, or iron deposits, to the amount of fluoride being added to the water. The concerns for PFAS are more overwhelming when consumers take into account that PFAS can accumulate in the body from multiple exposures. How much does water mean to you? And so I pose this question: how do you measure the value of water?